rocks can get up into the belt, get in the belt, and get around there, all sorts of stuff like that. So it's a good thing to look at the belt, not only after you've had enough, but you know, the end of every day. If you take the airbox off, look at the belt.
Yeah.
And you know, we look at certain things here, and I know it was a new belt at one point, but I can see there's a little fray on the side here. And we have a rock on our belt right there.
Well, a little teeny one.
Oh, I got it. But it's just things to look for, and another good thing to have is a spare belt. If the belt breaks on track, you'll get a yellow light to come on. Ooh, see? There's a big one. That was sharp one too. That was in there. I may suggest that we replace the belt
If there's one, there's gonna
prior
be
to Watkins Glen. Yeah, absolutely. And then if we did that, would you want us to get you a spare belt?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I feel like I've been carrying a spare belt from my other car.
It's just smart, and it's easy backup. But if you ever see the yellow light on the dash come on,
yeah,
that means you've lost alternator power. If you've lost alternator power, chances are you've lost the belt. And if you've lost the belt, you're gonna overheat this thing super fast.
Okay, so I'm at the toe at Watkins Glen, and I get the yellow light.
I would immediately look at engine temp, and watch it. But if you see it start to go on the rise, shut it down, pull over. An acceptable level for that is probably, you'll probably see 200 on track sometimes. If you get to 210 and you see it's on the rise, shut it down.
Okay.
It'll heat soak for a little bit, it'll go to 220, 225, but it'll be okay. I've seen these go to 240 and be okay, but so. I've also seen catastrophic with these. I've seen one of our old customers did an entire lap at Sebring without the radiators on the top.
Where were they?
Scattered, scattered about, and the temperature sensors quit working for water at 389 degrees Fahrenheit, and they quit working for the oil at 388 degrees Fahrenheit.
And we were past that. He was past that.
He was past that. Yeah, that's when they stopped working. Needless to say, it did prove catastrophic.
Yeah.
He did need a complete rebuild for motorsport, but the oil did survive. We had the oil sent out for testing, and it came back.
What oil do you use in these cars?
We use Mobil 1040.
And is that a special?
No,
it's a race motor.
It's their European blend.
But it is the European blend. It's not the.
You can go to Walmart and buy it all right off the shelf.
European car formula.
Yep.
Okay. So
Porsche recommends.
That's a point of discussion with our friends at Body Motion, who swear to using every oil under the sun, with the singular exception of Mobil 1.
Really?
Yeah. And they talk about all the ZDDP and all the anti-wear additives and all that crap. And like, I've been running Mobil 1 in all my 996 cars for 14 years now. I don't have any issues.
So this is my 10th year doing this. We've been using Mobil 1 in the engines since I've started.
The new cars?
Yep.
Mobil 1.
Everything. Yeah. Everything. The Caymans. And it's all recommended 040. And the gear oil we use is the Mobil Delvac 7590. It's just a bit more robust than the LS version. And
no issues.
Yeah, no, none at all. None at all.
Yeah.
Mobil 1 Delvac
7590 is the gear oil.
Doing the thing with that. I'm trying to get you bubble gum and water. So
that is our oil fill, and yes, our dipstick fluid. I just take it out for ease of draining the oil. You have to loosen, I'm gonna have to loosen up the oil filter, and even then it still doesn't work. You'll see when we open up the case and drain the oil out that it might start root. I'm just trying to alleviate that by opening up what I can up top to get it to flow out.
Where's that taking a reading from? The dry sump tank?
So the oil will come back up over and in to the tank, and it runs over, there's holes in the tube that this slide, in this tube, there's several placed holes in there, and as it comes back over through magic, it'll hit a spot on here, and it'll run down from there. Generally, when we're done, I like to see it mid to almost full, and that's roughly 9.5 quarts on it.
Is it a quart between the low and the high?
And
Is that what that is?
Yep. So from this one to here is a quart.
Okay. So if you are a half a quart low and it runs 9.5 quarts, it's not a killer in a dry sump situation.
It absolutely isn't. This system will hold, brand new, if you go to put everything in, it'll hold about 10.5 quarts. So, I mean, there's a lot of oil in there. It's still...
The residual oil.
Yes. Yes, there is definitely some residual that stays in there. You will never ever see it.
But the more the better, right?
Yeah.
Up to the limit,
Well,
right? Because
you
it
know,
just
you
helps
don't have
cooling
to,
and...
exactly.
Yeah.
It's still based upon an oil-cooled car. They just added water into the mix, help it, horsepower. Yeah.
It just helps dissipate heat on it.
So, and this is the filter right here?
Yes, that is
That's on
the
the
oil
bottom.
filter housing.
It's an interesting place for an oil filter.
It is.
Ease of change.
And I throw a towel under here just in case it does seep out over the edge. It doesn't get all over everything and make everything gross.
Is that a standard filter remover?
This is, it's Porsche specific. I think your 996 might be the same filter cup.
Do you have one of those?
I know.
I do. And I never use mine, so you can have mine.
Yeah, there's many different versions of this to make sure
If mine fits, you're welcome to have it.
Yeah. But I mean,
Just I don't
it's
have
not over tight or anything, just to make a nice seal and not leak. And you'll know if this is leaking up here, you'll see some wet marks and seeping right underneath.
Smoke coming out the back when it's hot.
So I will take this out. Just to about there, past the O-ring, and there's a little actual slot down the threads in there for pressure release. Because if you take the whole thing out, oil's gonna go everywhere. You can see it starting to run out now. But got all right. So that's what I do to prepare to go underneath the car. I always like to bring the car up high for me when I service it, and then work myself down.
Okay.
So that's pulled out and that's loosened and the pressure's released.
Whatever's left in there, yeah, absolutely.
That's what all comes out.
Yes. Bring it up high so we can all stand underneath it, because I usually have it a hair shorter.
Yep, it's the same as our cars, John.
Roll lock? It's all
Oh
locked
yeah,
up.
absolutely.
It's remarkably similar to our cars.
really is.
Absolutely. So, I take it you've seen this portion of the car before.
Oh, yeah.
We're missing a brake scoop.
Got one.
We lost it in our
With the rocks.
excursion.
And this, I don't know if that's a great design, that little dip there, but I guess they don't hit it a lot and spill oil. Or...
No.
It's shit's coming this way.
Right.
It's
and
got to
that's-
get past that in the barn.
It's some tight gaps down here. Obviously, you can see that's tight. We're tight to the sway bar, to the engine. If you ever had to adjust it, basically all the trans points you can loosen and slide everything towards the back. If this were, like, say you had a rear end collision or something and you noticed everything's further forward. But there are lots of things to loosen and tighten back up that will kind of spring back into place after a small shot.
Yeah.
Provided it's not a big shot.
Right.
So we're gonna drain our oil now.
Interesting, these are made out of aluminum,
Yes.
and our cars are steel.
So the first thing I do is drain the tank. 15 mil, and this engine has been rebuilt so it has a special drain plug that requires a special gasket. I'll show you in a second.
Very exciting, isn't it? I feel like we're waiting for something to give birth.
Oh, baby. Yeah, that's a lot of oil.
Oh yeah. And so we like to change the oil after every event.
Cheap insurance.
Yeah, absolutely. So this drain plug, after engines get rebuilt, they get a magnetic drain plug in the oil tank per Porsche. Now this one is slightly shorter than the original, hence why they use a 3mm sealing ring versus the regular thin one. If you have a regular thin washer in there, and tighten this in there, it'll start galling the bottom side of this. Because it goes too far into the threads there and they just start galling themselves out because they're stretching it.
Maybe
Not
they
good.
Have to use 3mm washer on drain plug.
You got it. It's right on here. Need my testicles on.
I'm glad we captured that on video.
So I replace all the aluminum crush washers every time. It may not be necessary, I just do it, cheap insurance.
So that crush, is that a crush washer?
It's aluminum seal ring, crush washer, it's all relatively.
And it's 30mm, you said?
3mm.
Excuse me. Right, yeah.
It's a 22 by 27 and 3mm thick. I'll get you the Porsche part number when we're in a little while.
That's good.
But like I said, you can reuse them, but I just don't. And especially that big one, you can, but I just don't. I had a new one. I just put the new one on right away. So while that's draining, I start to go through other parts of
And
this.
it's good that there isn't a whole bunch of metal stuck to that little magnet.
Absolutely. You'll see some like sludge-ish
Right.
stuff, but that'll be the extent of it.
Okay. Go.
Unless there's a problem.
Unless there's a problem.
Unless there's a problem.
So like I said, I'll let this drain for a little bit and I'll move to the front here and I'll start my nut and bolt. And I like to go from front to back as I go. Key points, the subframe pickups, all the subframe bolts. You can look at them, you can see if they've ever moved, if you had an accident, you can see if there's witness marks of the subframe moving in here. Generally everything's tight enough that if it's a small shunt that it doesn't, nothing. I doubt you're interested in torque specs, but
Oh, definitely.
basically everything under here I do at 100 foot-pounds except for these diagonals.
A little bit less.
Yes.
So the subframe bolts would be 100.
Yes. This one's actually 105, and the other ones are actually 90. I just go to 105 and do them all. It happens. Stuff loosens up. It's not like that was super loose, but it was loose. And then I do these guys at 85 foot-pounds.
What do you call those?
Diagonal braces.
Subframe diagonal braces. 85.
Alright, so that's all our big stuff. Everything I do from here, it's basically a feel for me, but we're just looking for type.
Right.
You know, we don't want anything loose at all or anything like that.
Is there a document out there that describes all of the torque specs for every nut and bolt in the car?
Most of the nuts and bolts on the car. Yes, there is.
Do you have a copy of that?
I think if you get in touch with Motorsport and send them the VIN number of the car and request a service book for the car, I think they will provide one, possibly even on a thumb drive.
Call your buddy Al.